Ladies and gentlemen, there is a power within you so strong, so unstoppable, that if you knew how to unlock it, you could transform your life beyond recognition. That power is your mind. Your mind is your key to success. See, life will throw obstacles at you. You will face rejection, setbacks, heartbreaks, and failures. But none of those things can defeat you unless you let them live rent-free in your mind. It's not what happens outside that determines your destiny. It's what you allow to take root inside. Think about it. Every great achievement, every invention, every breakthrough started as a thought in someone's mind. The airplane was just a thought. The smartphone in your hand was just a thought. Every empire, every business, every masterpiece, just a thought. What you dwell on becomes your reality. But here's the danger: the same mind that can lift you up can also hold you prisoner. If you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have what it takes, then your mind will build walls around you and you'll never escape. But if you dare to say, I can, I will, I must, then your mind becomes your greatest ally. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant, positive or negative, will grow. Plant fear, doubt, and excuses, and you'll reap a harvest of regret. Plant faith, courage, and determination, and you'll reap a harvest of success. So the question is, what seeds are you planting in your mind today? When you master your mindset, no setback can hold you down for long. When you feed your mind with vision, discipline, and relentless belief, you'll find strength you never knew you had. Success is not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. It's about the mind that refuses to quit, even when the body is tired and the world says no. You hold the master key, not the economy, not your background, not your circumstances. So guard your mind, feed it with wisdom. Surround it with people who uplift you. Speak to yourself with power, because your words become your reality. Ladies and gentlemen, your mind is the battlefield. Win there, and you've already won everywhere else. Your mind is your key to success. Unlock it, and step in the life you were born to live. Thank you. Everything you are right now, and everything you will ever become, starts in your mind. Before you can change your circumstances, you must first change your thinking. If your mind is filled with limitation, you'll live a limited life. If your mind is filled with possibility, you'll begin to see opportunities that were invisible to you before. The truth is, your mind is the steering wheel of your destiny. Where it turns, your life follows. Think about it. Two people can grow up in the same environment, face the same struggles, and yet one rises to greatness while the other remains stuck. What makes the difference? Not talent, not luck. It's the way they think. One person says, this is all I'll ever be. The other says, this is just where I'm starting, not where I'm staying. That mindset, those inner words, shape two completely different futures. Your mind is like a thermostat. It sets the temperature of your life. If you think small, you live small. If you raise your level of thinking, you raise the level of your living. That's why the most important work you can ever do isn't just in your career, your business, or your relationships. It's in your mindset. When you upgrade your mind, everything else in your life eventually upgrades with it. The mind doesn't care what you feed it. It will serve back whatever you consistently put in. If you constantly rehearse past failures, your mind will convince you the future will be no different. But if you feed it vision, belief, and purpose, your mind will generate the energy and creativity to move you toward that vision. It becomes a magnet pulling you in the direction of your dominant thoughts. You must understand, your destiny is not written in your circumstances, your bank account, or your background. It's written in the thoughts you choose to dwell on every single day. Your mind is the architect of your future, and the blueprints it uses are the thoughts you allow to take root. When you grasp this truth, you'll stop waiting for change outside of you and start creating change inside of you, because your mind is where destiny begins. Life is unpredictable. You will face situations you never asked for: loss, rejection, financial struggle, disappointment, even betrayal. These external challenges are part of the human journey. But here's the truth: those things don't define you. What defines you is how you choose to see them, how you choose to respond, and how you choose to rise in spite of them. The storm outside only destroys you if you allow it to get inside. History is filled with people who prove this truth. There were individuals born into poverty who became leaders. People who faced discrimination but still broke through barriers. People told, "You'll never make it," who ended up making history. They didn't allow the external noise of the world to silence the inner voice of belief. They chose mindset over circumstances, and that choice gave them power. See, when you allow your external challenges to dictate your worth, you become a victim of everything around you. If the economy is down, you shrink. If people criticize you, you quit. If life gets hard, you stop. But when your mind is strong, you refuse to let the outside dictate the inside. Instead of saying, "This is happening to me," you start saying, "This is happening for me. This will make me stronger. This will shape me." That's the difference between breaking down and breaking through. The truth is, adversity is not your enemy. It's your trainer. It's there to test your resilience, to force you to dig deeper, to build muscles you never knew you had. But whether that adversity becomes a stepping stone or a stumbling block depends entirely on your mindset. Some people get crushed by the weight of challenges, while others use that same weight to lift themselves higher. The difference is not in the challenge, it's in the mind. So when you face trials, don't let them shrink your identity. Don't let them convince you that you are powerless. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you think about it. And that decision, right there in your mind, is what decides whether you rise or stay down. Because the challenge is never the final word. Your mindset is. Look around you right now. Everything you see began as nothing more than a thought in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, the technology you're holding, at one time none of it existed. It wasn't reality yet. It was just an idea. One person dared to think it, to imagine it, to believe it could be possible. And that thought became the seed that grew into reality. Every great achievement in human history started in the soil of the mind. Take the airplane, for example. For centuries, people believed flying was impossible. Yet the Wright brothers held a thought so powerful that it challenged gravity itself. That thought became sketches. Those sketches became experiments, and those experiments turned into flight. The world now moves faster because two men refuse to dismiss a single idea in their minds. That's the power of a thought, when you dare to protect it, nurture it, and act on it. The same is true in every field: business, medicine, art, sports. Before there was a cure, there was a thought: what if we could heal this? Before there was a skyscraper, there was a thought: what if we could build higher? Before there was a global company, there was a thought: what if we could serve more people? Every breakthrough, every invention, every empire, every movement began with the courage of someone's imagination. But here's the challenge: most people don't honor their thoughts. They dismiss them. They say, "That's crazy, that's too big, that could never happen." And in doing so, they bury the very seed that could change their lives. The truth is, your mind is giving you gifts every single day. Ideas, visions, sparks of possibility. But if you don't recognize their value, they never get planted and they never grow. That's why you must treat your thoughts with respect. You must protect them, write them down, and give them room to breathe. Because that one small idea in your mind, the one you're tempted to ignore, could be the key to your future. Never underestimate the power of a single thought, because inside it may be the very thing that takes you from where you are to where you were destined to be. The most dangerous conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every day, a voice inside your mind is either lifting you up or tearing you down. If you tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, I'm not worthy, your mind believes it. And once your mind believes it, it starts building invisible walls around your potential. That negative self-talk becomes a prison, trapping you in a reality far smaller than the one you're capable of living. Think about how many dreams never see the light of day because someone talked themselves out of trying. Not because they weren't talented, not because they weren't capable, but because their own inner voice convinced them they weren't enough. That prison is powerful. It keeps people stuck in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, and in lives that don't reflect their true potential. And the saddest part is, the lock on that prison is made of words they spoke to themselves. But here's the other side of the truth. Just as negative words can imprison you, positive words can set you free. When you begin to declare, I can, I will, I must, something shifts inside you. Affirmations are not just empty slogans. They are bridges to a new reality. They create new pathways in your brain, new belief systems in your heart, and new levels of courage in your actions. The words you repeat to yourself become the foundation for the life you build. Your mind is always listening, even when you don't realize it. If you fill it with criticism, it shrinks. If you fill it with courage, it grows. The person who says, I'll never make it, and the person who says, I'll find a way to make it, are both right, because their self-talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you say to yourself shapes the way you think, the way you feel, and ultimately, the way you act. So, if you want to change your life, start by changing the conversation in your mind. Tear down the prison walls of negativity and replace them with affirmations that build bridges to your dreams. Every time you speak words of faith, resilience, and determination, you're laying planks on a bridge that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. And when spoken with belief, they grow into the future you desire. Your mind is like a field of rich, fertile soil. It does not care what kind of seeds you plant. It will grow whatever you consistently sow into it. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and excuses, then weeds of limitation will take over your life. But if you plant seeds of faith, courage, and determination, you'll see a harvest of strength and opportunity. The soil doesn't choose the crop, you do. And what you choose to plant in your mind decides the life you will reap. Too many people underestimate this truth. They allow seeds of negativity from the world, news, gossip, toxic people, to take root in their minds. And without realizing it, those seeds grow into beliefs like, I'm not capable, success is not for me, life is against me. Just as weeds in a garden spread quickly, negative thoughts multiply if left unchecked. Before long, the mind becomes overrun with excuses and fears, choking out any chance of growth. But the good news is this: the same soil that grows fear will grow faith. The same mind that produces excuses can produce excellence if you choose different seeds. When you begin to feed your mind with vision, with knowledge, with empowering thoughts, you plant the seeds of a different future. At first, it may not look like much. Just like a seed in the ground, progress is invisible in the beginning. But with consistency, what you planted will break through the surface and grow strong. Every farmer knows that harvesting takes patience and discipline. You can't plant seeds today and expect fruit tomorrow. The same is true with your thoughts. You must guard them, water them daily with affirmations, protect them from the pests of doubt and negativity, and trust the process. Over time, The small seeds you plant in your mind will grow into habits. Habits will grow into character, and character will grow into destiny. That's why it's critical to be intentional about what you allow in your mental soil. Ask yourself daily, am I planting fear or am I planting faith? Am I planting weakness or am I planting strength? Because the harvest is guaranteed. Your mind does not fail to produce. It always produces. The only question is, what will it grow for you?